Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be on the 7 steps to build a strong financial foundation. And it's in relation to my video series on going forward after PTSD, steps 5 through 8. And specifically, you'll want to reference step number 7 in that video. So, building a solid financial foundation is crucial for a secure future. And here are some key steps to help you establish a strong financial base, which will be very important for you moving forward. Step number 1, set your financial goals. So basically what you're going to want to do here is define your short-term and long-term financial goals to give direction to our financial planning. So short-term goals being, I want to establish a savings account. I want to start saving a certain percentage of my paychecks. I want to get some credit cards paid off, or I want to do a budget. I want to save $1,000, those kinds of things. Long-term financial goals are something more like, saving to buy a house, real estate, or saving money to build an investment account, or to put into an IRA, something like that, bonds, anything like that. So any long-term type of investment that you may have and build until you retire. Or like I said, if you want to buy a house or something like that, or a boat or a car, whatever it may be for you. Okay, step number 2, create a budget. And this is very important because it's going to help you track your income and expenses to ensure that you're living within your means and saving for the future. So what I do is every month I list out all of the paychecks that come into the house, and then I list out all the bills on there. The very first thing I do in every paycheck is I pay myself a percentage of my check, and that's saving for my long-term goals for retirement, investing, that sort of thing. So you always want to pay yourself first. Now, I've built it up to where currently I'm saving 20%. Here in another couple months when I get a raise, then it'll be 25%. So you may want to start out, say, like 3%, okay? And then your goal being you want to work it up to where you're able to save at least 10 to 15% of every check that comes into your house for your retirement to build wealth. So when I started, I was maybe saving like $1.53 a paycheck or something like that. Whatever it was, and the most important thing in the beginning is that you're developing a habit, good financial habit of saving money, budgeting, and paying attention to what you're spending your money on. So I list out all the bills, pay all the bills. What's left, I divide that up between the checking account and the savings account. I have so much, and that money that goes into checking, that's used for groceries and gas, things like that. So when I started out, I was only living off of like $30 or $40 a week, if that. Sometimes, I had to stretch that $40 for like 2 weeks, and that was groceries and gas. So it was tough, but I did it, and it didn't have to stay that way forever. I mean, as time went on, I increased that more and more. Until I was at a comfortable level. And that's the point, is in the beginning you have to make sacrifice. So if you got to turn your AC up 2 degrees, or if you got to turn the heat down 2 degrees, or not turn it on at all, whatever the case may be, you have to do it in the beginning. You got to make those sacrifices with the goal in mind that you're going to get better as time goes. And and I did eventually. But the other thing too that I do to save money is I make a menu for the week, and I keep a list on the fridge of everything that I've run out of. If I haven't run out of it, it doesn't go on the list. So if I do run out of it, I put it on the list. So then when I go grocery shopping, I only buy what I need to cook the food that's on the menu and what we're absolutely out of that's on the list. That way I don't overspend, I don't impulse buy, I don't do any of those things. I mean, that's why they have all that stuff stacked up at the cash register at the grocery store, because it's called an impulse buy. You see it and you buy it on impulse. Ooh, I want that, and grab it because you're on your way out the door. Don't do that. So the budget will help you with all of these things. Okay, step number 3, Emergency fund. This is very important. You need to save at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in an emergency fund to cover unexpected costs. Things pop up. At first your goal might be, okay, you'll want to save at least $1,000 in there. Because most things that go wrong can be covered with $1,000. The fridge goes out, the washer, the dryer, any of those sorts of things are $1,000 under, you can get one. And it doesn't wipe you out. Because if you don't have this and something happens, you're going to be in trouble. You're being wiped out and you're going to go back into debt. The other thing is, then you're going to want to build that though to have at least 3 months. So if you lose your job or something like that, you have 3 months of money to pay the bills, to buy food, to buy gas, what have you. Very important, because like I said, if you don't have those things, what ends up happening is people go to their credit cards. And then they run up the credit cards for 3 months, and you're paying 22% interest on top of that. So that's a lot of money in interest. So maybe your bill is, $50, $12 of it is going to the actual principal. The rest is just to pay off interest. So you want to stay away from that. And the way to do that is by building an emergency fund. Step number 4, pay off debt. So you want to prioritize paying off your high interest debt like credit cards or any other loans or anything like that to reduce financial burden and free up funds for savings. So all this money that you're sending in to pay off the credit cards, that's money you could be saving. You could be investing. You could be building wealth with that. So what I did was I had 3 credit cards and I took the one with the highest balance and I paid as much as I could towards that. The other 2, I just made the minimum payment. So if the minimum payment was $25, I made it. And then I made that on the second one. The third one, with the highest balance, I put as much as I could, whether it was 50, 75, $100, $300, whatever it was, till I paid that off. Once that was paid off, I took the money that I was using for that card with the highest balance and I started applying it to the next card with the highest balance on top of that payment that I was already making. So now more money is going towards paying that off. Then you pay off the second one. So now you take the payments you were sending for the second and the third one plus the extra money and you put all that towards paying the last one off. Once that's paid off, all that extra money that you were sending out, then you start saving that. Put it in your emergency fund. Put it in the stock market. Put it in your 401k. Put it in a Roth IRA or a regular IRA, whatever. Buy bonds, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you're putting it towards building your wealth. Step number 5, invest wisely. Start investing early and diversify your portfolio to build wealth over time. And that's the key to the game. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. You can do short-term trading, but you really got to be careful with that. The best way to build wealth is to do it over time. Steady investing, whether the market's up or down. When it's down, you buy more shares. When it's up, you buy some, but less. And it sort of evens itself out when you're doing that. That's how retirement accounts work. You keep building it and you're getting dividends and all those things. You can build them on your own if you are savvy enough to do that, if you know enough about finance to do that. If not, go to a brokerage company, get a brokerage account through one of your banks or something like that, or investment bank. They'll manage it for you so you don't have any stress. You just know that every paycheck you're putting 10, 15% of your money into it. And that's the way to do it. And you diversify too by you have the brokerage account. Within that account, it should be balanced and diversified. But then you also look at that as, okay, that's stocks, maybe bonds too. But then you can go out and buy your own bonds. They have different types of bonds. Then you can go out, you can invest in precious metals like silver, gold, those sorts of things. They even have things, CDs you can do. You can put money into a high yield savings account. And obviously those rates vary depending on what's going on in the economy, but you get the idea. So one sector of your investment may be down, but the others are up kind of thing. So in reality, what you're doing is you are preserving capital. Okay, you're preserving your investment. So instead of by diversifying like that, if you just had everything in one account, you lose 50%. You lost 50%. But if you're diversified, you might lose 50% in that, but you might gain 30% in the other one. So in reality, you've only lost 20%. Or you might even gain 60% in the other one and make 10% instead of losing the full 50%. And that's how that works. Okay, step number 6. Insurance coverage. This is big. So you're going to want to protect your assets and loved ones with adequate insurance coverage for health, life, and property. So everything I have is covered by insurance. Something happens, the insurance covers it. I just have to pay the deductible. If you don't have that, something happens to your vehicle or a medical emergency, that stuff gets expensive real fast. Then you're wiped out again, and then you're using credit cards again. And we're trying to stay away from that. So when we get to step number 6, make sure that you have good insurance for all your things. Trust me, it is worth it. Step number 7, review and adjust. So regularly, you're going to want to review your financial plan and make the necessary adjustments as they're needed so you stay on track towards your goals. Things change over time, so you're going to adjust your plan over time. One of the things, like I said, every time I get paid, usually the raises are about 5%, so I add another 5% to my savings. So like I said, I might have started out at 3, I'm at 20% now, and here in another few months, when I get a raise, I'll adjust it to 25% and so on. So by the time that I start thinking about retirement, I will be saving 50% of my paycheck, which is about where you want to be. And if I can do more as time goes on, I will. So make sure that you're regularly reviewing it. I go over mine, like I said, I do the budget, all that every month. And if things need to be adjusted, I do it, or rearranged, that sort of thing. Same thing with your investments. Maybe you need to change a few things, do a few things, sell a few things, buy a few things, whatever. At any rate, you're going to want to check it regularly and adjust as appropriate. Okay, so all of this info, like I said, is in my one video on moving forward after PTSD, steps 5 through 8. It's specifically step number 7. There's even more details in my book, The Blacksmith, which you see pictured here. All of that information can be found on my website, robertsiracchijr.com. You can go there and check out my exclusive content page where I have all of my work: radio, TV interviews, newspaper interviews, articles, magazine reviews, blog posts that I do. I do put my videos there as well. And you can also go to my store page if you are so inclined to purchase a copy of my book. If you don't want to buy it through the website, I have links there on that page so that you can purchase them from Amazon or Barnes & Noble Nook. If you wish to contact me, you can do it through my website on my contact page if you want to do it discreetly. Otherwise, don't forget to like and share the video. Leave some comments below. I always like to get those. And make sure that you go out and be well. And with that, don't forget to make today the day that you become inspired. Thank you.